Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, yeah, FEMA apparently spent $640 million on legals, but doesn't have much left for the hurricane victims, which, yeah, I keep forgetting. I would love to hear the justification. Why do we pay taxes still? I can't but see the most people who, when you pay taxes, you seem to get the least amount. Seems the best. Like if you look at all the money, I'd love to see an infographic, especially when you see the U.S. like money leaving the U.S. with all the quote unquote aid we give throughout the globe. Like how much money we give the government, how much of it actually benefits us directly. It would probably be a very depressingly low percentage, I would suppose. Now, this is brought to us again thanks to Colin Rugg, who's over at the good old X Twitter, hashtag Colin Rugg, COLINRUGG, if you want to check him out. This quote, report from death toll from Hurricane Helene has surpassed 200 as FEMA announced they, quote, do not have funds to help Americans make it through the hurricane season. Wow. This is due to the fact that 640.9 million in FEMA administrative funds have been spent on illegal immigrants. Jesus, $640.9 million. And I know it's kind of cliche to keep driving this point home, but we do have homeless veterans out there. We do have people who are of no cost, in circumstances that are not of their own, where they're in very rough situations, and they don't get help, and they've been paying to the system for decades, maybe. Jeez. They say, quote, a new report also claims FEMA failed to deploy assets, including 12 medevac helicopters, are just sitting in Greenville, South Carolina, reported by Callie Jane Crepper, which, yeah, it's also pretty evil. They're telling private citizens they can't fly out there and take their own assets to try to help people. Perhaps because then everyone would see how utterly useless the government is, now infinitely more effective the private sector and good people are when they step up to the plate. There's someone with a private helicopter, they're literally going to the disaster zone, taking people out, and then after they did a couple times, the government came and said, oh, no, you can't do that. You have an authorization. Disgusting. And they say, quote, unconfirmed reports say the death toll is much higher than 200. Already over 500 bodies, and there are bodies in tree, mud, cars, houses everywhere. No federal support whatsoever. A law enforcement agent told John Rich, which, yeah, of course. Locals and good Samaritans are doing everything they can, but are failing to receive government assistance they need. The government's failure to provide necessary assistance could also impact the election in North Carolina with just a month away. And here you can see terrible music. Oh, we'll play. Yeah, another reason to listen on the good old Rumble, because they won't take the music out, most likely. Actually, no, they've never done that to me. Jesus. So it's a little video compilation just showing my town. All the buildings just demolished to nothing. And of course, you do see some folks with bulldozers or dump trucks trying to help. And of course, they're all local, but you don't see any federal badges or identification on them because presumably they're all local people or businesses trying to help. Why do we pay the government federal taxes again? Like, jeez. Like, yeah. Imagine, depending on what your tax bracket, 40% of your money is stolen. I mean, taxed by the federal government. 40%? It's insane. 40%. Then you have all their taxes on top of that. Federal government has the good old gasoline tax. Wow. Yeah, so in that video compilation, and granted, this is anecdotal evidence, this is one video. It got 3.9 million views, but yeah, I didn't, single federal government asset. And it also got 42,000 likes. Now, some of the top comments coming from Junita Broderick. She says, quote, the $750 was a slap in the face to mostly red states. It was deliberate, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Now, Kyle Rugg says, quote, there's no upside to giving these struggling Americans government help. Illegals, there's potential future voters. They're cheap labor. They make the economic data look good for the Biden-Harris administration. They give blue states a toss-up and more electoral votes. True, getting 984 likes, which, yeah, people always wonder, like, what's the point of having illegals, come to the state? It's like, they get more people, they quite literally get more representatives sent to the House of Representatives because of it. Because I'm not sure who made this decision, how mentally vacuous or immoral it was. The U.S., the census is based on everyone that's there, not just legal citizens. It should be just legal citizens, but another topic for another time, perhaps. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, our government is pathetic. Then Kamala goes to extend $750 to each family. Ridiculous, getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, again, I'm not sure about the hotel charges in those areas, but would that even cover more than a week or two staying in a hotel? Counter response saying it's on purpose. They are abandoning the people of North Carolina, just like they did the people of Maui. True. They also see no upside of helping these Americans, so they won't. But in Ukraine, illegals, they get billions on a moment's notice, getting 2,000 likes, which, yeah, just a couple, was it last week? Cut yet another check for Ukraine of $8 billion. And I don't mean to be too negative on Ukraine, and I kind of drive it. It's a recurring theme where I kind of rag about how much money we give them, but it's just one of those things I almost like. I don't understand the business justification of helping them out, or the more like not a strategic ally. And like if you look at the data, like just Google or Brave search like the top 10 trading partners of Ukraine, we're not even in the top 10. And truth be told, most of the people that are the top 10 trading partners of Ukraine are not our allies. Some of them are even our opponents. So it's just ridiculous. Or just more proxy wars. Kevin Nelson says maybe we can get Zelensky to go to Congress on behalf of the U.S. Getting 398 likes. I mean, you just need to relabel all these states Ukraine, and you get funding overnight. Again, $200 billion now, again, to Ukraine, and that is a combination between cash as well as military armaments and other, physical materials, which you could argue that you're reinvesting in the local U.S. economy because it's American-made manufactured goods. So granted, that doesn't increase the U.S., overall, wealth or value. Really, like for defense, I see the business justification of, increasing value to the country in terms of sales is if they sell to our allied nations. That I understand in terms of, well, yeah, that would be increasing the economy, but I partially digress. Going down more and more. Paul Zupa says, quote, our government has failed the American people once again, and yet Kamala wants to raise taxes and give billions to foreign countries. There's no forgiving any of this. Getting 218 likes. We do have some contrarian statements bringing to the surface, though. Yeah, Craig Chamberlain saying, quote, these clowns in Congress find or print money any way they want to raise. How about they not have the funds to? How do they not have the funds to help the victims of Hurricane Helene? Getting 68 likes. Let's see here. Human, which his flags or his emojis, because of course he has emojis as his name like a child or a woman, has a picture of what is it? The peace symbol, the Ukrainian flag, the blue wave, and he actually does have the USA flag. And he's a little radical leftist, but again, I try to follow as many people as possible, so the comments are not just an echo chamber. Hashtag the topic show if you want to see my Twitter activities. And I say it's human. His hashtag is literally for humanity, and he used for the numeral 4. He didn't spell it out. And yeah, his name is human. Can't help but think it's just what a robot would want us to think, isn't it? But I partially digress. Now he says, quote, beware the posts containing the mix of semi-accurate information, misleading claims, and unverified speculation. Here's a clear breakdown. The figure of 200 is accurate based on multiple news reports. The claims of a much higher one is lack of credible verification from credible sources. Getting 70 likes. What is this? What is this one? Oh, who gives a damn? It's funny. It is a leftist I follow, though, so I'll read it, because again, it's a contrarian statement. But I just say it's just annoying because it has nothing to do with the substance, which is what leftists radically usually do. So this is from Keith Aloha, who, the one time I suppose it is appropriate to have an emoji in your name. His name is Keith Aloha, and he has the palm tree in his profile, or in his name. And he is someone who says, vote blue, animal lover, pro-choice, never Trump. Hey, at least he follows me back. So maybe he appreciates diverse opinions. So I'll at least give him credit in that regard. Granted, I think I followed him first, but I say it's just so ridiculous, his response, because he's not addressing the substance of this issue. He just did a copy paste of never forget, remember in November. And it's about, oh yeah, how Trump tried to overturn the election results in his insurrection on the Capitol. Oh yeah, when the police, the one death was from the police shooting a civilian. And oh yeah, the police in many cases calmly guided people through the Capitol. And Pelosi admitted it was her fault that all the bad things happened. But I partially digress. I'm sure Keith got a couple likes. Actually, no, he got 12 likes. More than a couple. Another friendly reminder to like this video. Or don't like it. Give it a downvote. And let me know why. How could I improve? There are a myriad of things, I know. But always appreciate feedback. Even if it does take me a couple days to get back, just because work can be a little bit hectic. So appreciate your patience to reply to the comments, as I do try to reply to all of them when I can. Going down, you also have Rob Goat says, quote, if our government can't help the American people after a hurricane, how am I supposed to believe they're going to help us if we are struck by many of the countries that we're escalating tensions with? We are so vulnerable right now, it doesn't make any sense. Getting 175 likes, which, well, yeah, they would do nothing. We can't even protect our border from people illegally entering. If another country wanted to invade us, it would be so... The only thing stopping that, in my opinion, is we do have advanced military technologies. The top defense contractors on the planet are all headquartered in America, and they make some of the most fantastic technologies bar none. Also, America was founded on the Second Amendment, and every real American has at least one firearm or more. If you look at the firearm ownership per person, the U.S. has one of the best, aka the biggest number on the planet. And if people actually tried to invade our country, most Americans, I believe, would step up to the plate and unify and appropriately defend themselves. I mean, famously, during World War II, a Japanese general, they were talking about, why don't you invade the mainland? And a Japanese general famously said, because there'd be a gun behind every blade of grass. And that is a very prolific quote, one of the most famous quotes, especially if you're American and a fan of the Second Amendment. You hear that quote goes around a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody named Greg Scott saying this is nonsense. FY 2025 started Tuesday. FEMA has a budget of $33 billion, with $27 billion specifically for disaster relief and National Flood Insurance Program. How can they not have the funds for disaster relief? And it's a gif of Loki shaking a hand. It says you had one job, getting 178 likes. This is a perfect juxtaposition of two pictures. Nancy says there's no excuse for this. And on the left is a picture of a broken, obviously from the hurricane. It looks like perhaps a family hugging. They got $750. And then it's juxtaposed with a picture of an illegal alien who famously beat up a police officer, I believe it was in New York, and they just let him out of jail. Put him on, I think, no cash bail probably. And when he was exiting the jail, he had two thumbs up, or sorry, not thumbs up. He's flipping off the camera with both hands. And that's the number above his head is $2,500, which is what a lot of illegals are getting. Which begs the question, what's the point of working or paying taxes? That did get 344 likes. And yeah, you would think, I mean, I almost debate if there's really any activity or any tragedy or anything that can really unite Americans these days, when, again, Trump was brilliant in terms of, well, not just, I think he is authentic, but he was also, feet on the ground, helping these people out as soon as he could, which, again, I understand there's a positive political gain from doing that as well. I'm not saying it's 100% not, I'm not saying it's not at least a little self-serving, but yeah, Kamala, like, being absent for multiple days, I mean, that was terrible. Then I'll never forget their excuse for Kamala not visiting was, oh yeah, we don't want to interfere with the emergency services. First of all, there's not many to interfere with, and that has never stopped them from getting a photo op ever, ever, ever. That's one of the weakest excuses since the head of the Secret Service said, oh yeah, we didn't have a counter sniper on the roof because it was sloped and we were worried about our team's safety. And the sloped roof was less sloped than, well, shoot, you could probably crawl up that with anything. And oh yeah, the other counter snipers are on roofs with greater inclines. Just as ridiculous. But let me know, how do you think this will evolve in terms of people stepping up to the plate? Will the federal government give more than $750? And then do you think this will have a big impact on the upcoming election? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.